What's up, everyone? It's Matt Morozic, and this will be kind of a Wonderfest wrap-up summary video. We got a lot of reviews to do of stuff I bought over the past weekend. I didn't buy a whole lot this year, but last year when I went to Wonderfest, I saved up and got whatever I wanted. And at that time, I was still kind of discovering what I liked and stuff. I've kind of narrowed it down, and now I know when I see something, if it speaks to me, I get it. So that's why I don't have so much this year, and last year just kind of went crazy. But anyway, this is my fourth time going to Wonderfest, and I gotta tell you, it gets better with every year. And I think part of that is because I've gotten to know so many more people, and a lot more people have recognized me either from YouTube or Facebook. Those are the two primary social medias I use. I don't have Instagram or what was it, Tumblr, I think is the other one people use. I spend so much time on Facebook, I haven't even thought about doing Instagram. People keep telling me, get Instagram, but Facebook takes up so much time already. So anyway, as I did last year, I left on Wednesday last week, early in the morning, and I had anticipated on just kind of driving until I got tired like I did last year. I drove like 10 hours last year. I stopped, I took the nap, and finished the last 2 hours on Thursday morning. But Mr. Mark Havican from Filming Girl sent me a message, like, hey, when are you leaving for Wonderfest? And I said, well, I'm going to leave Wednesday, and I'm just going to drive till I get tired. He's like, oh, well, I have a reservation in Memphis, because he's got a longer drive than I do. I have a 12-hour drive. He has like a 15-hour drive, something like that. And he said, I'm going to stay in Memphis, because it's 9 hours, and finish up on Thursday. It's like, well, I'll go ahead and stay in Memphis overnight too, and we can grab dinner. So I did. Got a reservation at the same hotel he did. Went and had some barbecue, got to chat a little bit. It was awesome. We didn't even talk about modeling. It was cool. We just kind of talked about other stuff, and it was really nice. Enjoyed that. So I'm glad I made the stop, and it was well worth hanging out with him for a few hours. So then I got up early Thursday, about 5 o'clock, hit the road, and it's about a 5-hour drive from Memphis to Wonderfest. Got in right around 11:30, got my room. My buddy Floyd Bazin flew in. He got in there around noon. And it's great because you get there a little early. It gives you a chance to kind of chill out and relax, because starting basically like Friday afternoon, if you're a vendor, it's busy. So Thursday we went to Jesse Garcia's hotel room from GarageKits.us. We hung out there. We got to see his newest kit up person. I actually bought my kit in his room. Got to talk about what he's working on, and actually one of my reviews I'll be doing, it's not really a review, it's kind of an announcement. I'll be reviewing it later. Got to talk about that a little bit and just hung out, and we went out for pizza that night, and it just had a really relaxing time. It was very enjoyable, and I really like that. Wonderfest is more about talking to people and meeting people, and the modeling kind of comes is like second hat to that. Of course, you're there because it's like the biggest modeling show in the U.S. and I don't know if I'd say the world, but I bet it's up there. I mean, we had over 700 entries again this year, and the vendor's room is great. I mean, if you've never been to Wonderfest and you like figure modeling, especially, save up, because you go to that vendor room and it's easy to drop $1,000 in literally like 10 minutes. It's crazy. It's just so much is there, so much is offered. All the vendors are awesome. You get to talk to them in person, talk about their products, what they're working on. If you have a product that you purchased in the past and you have some suggestions about that, you can talk to them about, like, hey, I bought this thing, and maybe you could work on, maybe the casting a little bit, or so and so like that. So it's good to get that FaceTime with the vendors, because they get to hear your feedback. You get to see what they're working on. You get to meet the person, or the sculptor, or the producer. Like Troy McDivitt had a booth there, and his stuff sold out in like 10 minutes. Mark Havican's stuff always sells out before the early bird. I didn't even get to pick up this year's kit because I was lingering in the vendor hall, and by the time I got in line, he'd already sold out of Laguna. So I've got one coming, but I didn't even get to pick it up at Wonderfest. That's my fault, because I lingered. But yeah, so Thursday we just had pizza, went to bed pretty early. Friday morning, me and Floyd got up, had a nice breakfast. We went and saw Deadpool 2, which you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. It does a good job of following up Deadpool #1 without trying too hard. If you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, I think everyone would agree that they tried too hard in the second movie, which kind of ruined it for me. So after that, we hung out in the room for a little bit, and Mark Havacan and Jesse Garcia needed some help loading into the vendor room, so they got us dealer passes. We helped them bring their stuff in, set up a little bit, and that's also awesome because with a dealer pass, you can go into the vendor room at any time. You don't have to wait for early bird and stuff like that, so you can do a little kind of pre-shopping and looking at stuff you want to buy the next day. And then that Friday night, what do we do for dinner? I want to say, yeah, Friday night we went out to dinner with Mark Havacan and Randy Van Dyke. Randy's a good friend of Mark's and always helps him out in the booth. So we went for dinner that night. It was nice. And again, we just kind of chilled out. And what did we do after dinner? I'm trying to think what we did after dinner. It's such a blur. After dinner, I don't remember. Oh, I went to Thomas Grossman and the tag team's welcoming party. They have a welcoming party every year, so I went in there and I showed some work. And then what else did I do? I forgot. I had something else going on that night, but I can't remember. Anyway, again, it's a blur. So I did that, and then after that, just kind of hung out. And then Saturday is like when it all hits the fan. Saturday morning, you have the early bird, which starts at 8, so you have to pay extra to get in early to the dealer's room. And I tell you what, that's crazy. I'm glad I had a dealer pass because the line for the early bird started at 5 a.m. and went all the way down to the hallway. And those guys are usually there to get stuff from Filmy's girls like Mark Havacan. They want to make sure they get Jesse's kits. And if there's a specific kit you want, and you're afraid you're not going to get it, you get the early bird. Mark Havacan's table, Filmy's girls, is probably the number one table to go to because he always sells out, especially with his new release within the 10 minutes. It's crazy. He brings 25 castings and they're gone. And that's where I was in the room already before the early bird, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk around for a little bit. By the time I got in the line, all the early birds were in line, and I was at the end, and I didn't get the Lagoon so I had to pay for shipping a little bit. But he was still giving Mark was still giving the show price with half price shipping, so it's still a good deal. And Mark's kits, I'm not gonna lie, they're not the cheapest ones there, but I say this every time: you get what you pay for. Same with GarageKits.us. Jesse's kits are not the cheapest at the show, but you get what you pay for. So if you don't mind paying for quality, those are two tables to hit, definitely. Now, of course, there's a bunch of other high quality items and producers at the show, but they're one of the two that really specialize in original characters, 1/6 scale, full-size kits. And I'll talk a little bit more about some other stuff that Mark's working on when I do my reviews later. So Saturday was basically spent hanging out in the dealer's room, running into people. I don't know how many times people came up to say, hey, you're Matt Morozik. I watch your YouTube channel, which is really flattering to me because I'm the first one to say that my videos are not high production quality. They're simply there to show people what I do, how I mess up, how I fix those mess ups, try to pass on any tips and techniques that I get from other YouTubers or people on Facebook. So that's the reason I use YouTube, not really so people will know me, but it also helps me if I want to, because I don't take notes. I never take notes on what I do. I never write down colors. So YouTube is also a reference for me to go back and see how I've done something. So that's another reason why I do it. And I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers. I'm at like 4,950, I think. So almost hit 5,000. It's been a slow going. I have friends that have like 20,000, but they cater to kids and teenagers and stuff like that. So they've got tens of thousands of followers, where the guys who follow me are strictly there to learn how to model and stuff like that. They're not there to see what's the latest high-grade Bandai kit that's out there and what's in the box. Everyone what's in the box it's bags of plastic. So that's why my YouTube channel is not there for that. I specialize in reviewing limited run kits, high quality resin kits, things that a lot of people don't want to buy or can't afford. I'm lucky I can afford these because I do commission work, and that pays for my resin addiction. If I turn the camera around, you would see literally like $3,000 worth of resin kits that I'm looking at right now. So Saturday's been doing that. I went to a few workshops. The first 2 years I went to a lot of workshops. Some of them they repeat quite a bit, like my first garage kit. I don't need that. I've built hundreds of garage kits. How to clean your airbrush. I don't need that workshop. The most interesting workshop that I went to was the Kit Producers Roundtable. I'm going to forget the gentleman's name from Quantum Studios because I don't know him very well, but George Stevenson was there from Blackheart. Jesse Garcia from GarageKits.us, the gentleman from Quantum Studios. I apologize, I forgot your name, and Mark Havocan. And basically, it was an hour. I wish it was more of a 2 or 3 hour roundtable, because I feel a lot of these workshops need more than just an hour, especially something like this where it's an open discussion of what are the trends in figure modeling or modeling in general. What does it cost to produce a kit? Why do Mark Havocan's kits cost almost $300? Why did Jesse Garcia's kits almost cost $300? We went into all that. You know, they talked about the price of the sculpt, the price of the printing, or the printing if it's being 3D printed, the price of the castings and stuff like that. They didn't give a whole lot of specific information, because that's their business as far as what their costs are. But it gave people a really good idea that, look, if Mark Havocan or Jesse's going to put out a 6 scale figure that's 18 inches tall, sculpted by Roberto von Braun, and then painted by Jim Capone, that first display piece is probably $10,000. That's what it costs to make that first piece. So if you have a mold and you can get, let's say, 40 castings out of it, well, you have to charge $250 per kit just to break even. Now, that doesn't include the packaging, the labels, the peanuts, the artwork that goes on the box. So factor that in. So these guys aren't making money on these kits until they maybe hit the 2nd or 3rd run. And even then, it's very little, maybe enough to fund the next project. So I thought that seminar was very informative. A lot of the information I already kind of knew, because I've been playing with the idea of working with a buddy and maybe producing a quarter scale superhero kit of some sort. Again, it's capital. I mean, you need $10,000 to start for the most part, and I don't have that laying around. So that was a great discussion. I hope they do that again next year and make it longer. I think a 2-hour block might cover it, because we only got about 10 minutes for Q&A, and that really wasn't enough time, I felt. And then even some of the other demo, I went to a demo on, again, I forgot this gentleman's name, but he made the miniatures and stuff for the movie Moon, which you haven't seen the movie Moon. It's a great independent sci-fi, and check it out. But he built the miniatures and did the weathering, so he showed us how he achieved the look of the movie Moon. And to be honest, it was a very simple technique, and it looks amazing. So that was a great little workshop. So basically, Saturdays you spend in the dealer room, or you're going to seminars. And then also on Saturday, this was the last year, a bunch of guys got together and created this thing called the Model Club. And the first rule of Model Club is you don't talk about Model Club. So basically what they do, it's by last year and this year was by invite only, and they want to grow it, so they're going to open it up. But basically they wanted to contact builders, not necessarily me, because I'm very new to the figure, but the guys who are professionals, the guys that write for AFM all the time, guys that maybe make a living by doing this, the guys that are really, really good. They wanted to kind of do a contest to the side of Wonderfest, and just kind of put the best against the best and see who won. And it's great, because you pay $50 to get in. Once the room is paid for, then there's a kitty and there's the pot, and whoever gets voted the best wins the money. So it's great. I think this year, the winner won like almost $400. We had 11 entries. Mine was nowhere near, not even, let's just say the work there was excellent, and my Captain America didn't stand a chance. Because I'm a painter, I'm not a scratch builder, and these guys built some amazing pieces. I didn't take a whole lot of photos. Actually, I didn't take any photos this year. The first year I went, I took a shitload of photos, and I spent my whole time taking photos. And there are so many guys that spend the time to do that. Just Google Wonderfest 2018, Louisville, Kentucky, and you'll find pictures of all the entries. I'd rather spend my time talking to people and meeting people and seeing what's out there, and just networking than taking photos. So that's why I don't do it. I rather spend my time talking to people. So Iron Modeler, or the Model Club contest was like 8 to 9 or something like that. And previously, I'd gone out to dinner with Mark and Randy and his son and Floyd, and met up with our friend Greg and his wife, and just had a really nice dinner. Great Tex-Mex. So we had dinner, did the Model Club contest, and then after that we went. After that, I went up to the Resident Maniacs suite. John Allred gets a suite every year and has like a Resident Maniacs party. Last year was the first time I went, And I met Dennis Lang and his wife Barbie, and they are probably two of the nicest people you could ever meet. I must have jabbered with them for several hours. This past year, I talked to John Allred till almost 4 in the morning. It was great because as a new commissioned figure painter, you know, I can paint clothes, I can paint hardware, I can do that all day long. You know, that's in my wheelhouse. Flesh tones are still a struggle, and I'll go over the awards and why. Actually, I did really well in the awards, but we'll talk about that in a second. But one of my buddies that, you know, that I just know from the groups, not Shaky Dave, he's gonna kill me because I always get them confused. Crazy Joe. Crazy Joe's like, man, your work is good, but you have to work on skin tones. Like, I know, man, that's my struggling area. I've only been doing this for like a year and a half. It's like, give me some pointers, you know, teach me, sensei. So I have to say though, my skin tones from last year to this year are greatly improved. And John Ulrich was like, man, you've done really well in just the year that you've been painting. He's like, your work is really, really good. It's up there. So that meant a lot to me because he's been doing this for so long, and a lot of people look at his work as kind of like a benchmark. And so we chatted for like I said, till almost 4 in the morning. We talked about techniques. We talked about just other stuff in general. We chatted a little bit about business and some pricing and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm always open about my pricing, about what I charge. If someone asks me, if another painter asks me what I charge, I tell them. It's no secret to me. Whether you think I'm high or low, that's your business. Whether you want to charge more or less than me, that's your business. But, you know, if you want to know, hey, how much would you pay for this? I think that's $800. Okay, well, that gives you an idea what I charge. And if you want to charge more or less, that's up to you. So John, I think, was really, there was one thing that kind of surprised me, and we didn't go into a whole lot of depth about pricing, but it was very brief. Like I was mentioning, what I was charging for the Beast build, the Beast on the desk. I'm charging $1,300 for a paint up of that. I think that's a fair price. And his price, I'm not going to discuss his pricing because again, that's his business. But our prices were very close. He is a little bit higher. I mean, he's been doing it a lot longer, so he deserves and commands a higher price. So I was surprised that my pricing was pretty damn close to what he feels I should be charging. And I kind of agree that, in a sense, I agree and disagree to a certain extent that commissioned builders and artists, there should be some sort of, you know, consistent pricing throughout things like that, whether you're painting figures or tanks. You know, it just kind of it makes it easier for collectors to shop. That way you're not hiring someone just based on price. You're hiring them based on their talent and if you like their work. So I think that's a healthy, open conversation pricing. Now, some guys are going to charge more, and whether they deserve it or not, that's up to the person hiring them, and vice versa. Some people will charge less, and whether they deserve a lesser fee, that's up to the person hiring them. And as long as they get what they as long as they are happy with what they get. So as long as someone who is hiring an artist in any format, a photographer like me, a painter, a sculptor, anything, as long as that person that is hiring the artist feels like they're getting what they paid for, that's all that matters in my book. So we had a great discussion. It was like 3:30, 3:45. It was me, John Allred, Shaky Dave, Rusty Nail, George. I forgot George's name because this is the first year I talked to him. Had a great discussion about Model Club and what they vision Model Club should be. You know, a bigger contest outside of the regular contest. Just, you know, if you want to compete, put your money where your mouth is, you know, and put $50 in and put your stuff up against the best. So if I'm going to compete in Model Club next year, I've got to up my game. I think I need to build like a full-scale alien or something crazy like that because the work was unreal. So that pretty much wraps up Saturday. You know, I was up till 4 in the morning in John's room. I was like, oh man, sorry for keeping you up. I was actually going to bed, and then Floyd had to get up because he had a 6 a.m. flight. So he was up at like an hour after I got back to the room. I'm going to pause 1 second and make sure I'm still recording. Okay, I am. Because I'm recording on my phone and my battery's kind of dead, so I just want to double check that hasn't died yet. So Sunday again was kind of like, you kind of go through the dealer room again, see if there's anything you want. I ran into Gabe Perna. If you don't know his work, I'll be reviewing the one piece I got that he sculpted this year. Last year I got 2 things he sculpted. One was a Joker bust and one was a Batman bust. That's some of his older work, but It's amazing, but I'll be reviewing one of his pieces. And we talked for about 20 to 30 minutes, and it was nice to talk to him. It's great to talk to the artists, you know, and see what they're doing and what they have planned on, you know, stuff like that. I ran into a buddy on Facebook, Jason Fielder, who purchased, well, he didn't purchase, but a client of his purchased my Raging Hulk versus Wolverine Troy McDivitt kit. And we've been chatting back and forth on Facebook nonstop about his Robin kit that he had, because ever since I did the Robin, I had so many requests to do another one. It's like, well, there aren't any more kits left. And Jason, a couple weeks ago, well, I have a kit. Do you want to buy it? So, well, let me see if I can find someone that'd be interested in me painting before I buy it, before I commit. And so I was, hey, man, it's like, do you have the Robin kit? Yep. It's like, okay, I have someone that wants it. And then they would back out. Hey, Jason, do you have the Robin kit? Yep. I have someone that wants it. And then they would back out. And this happened like 3 or 4 times. So poor Jason I kept stringing along on this damn Robin kit. So finally we made a deal. I had the Bushi Captain Marvel kit. I brought it to Wonderfest because Floyd thought he wanted to buy it. He ended up not purchasing it. So me and Jason did a trade. I gave him the Bushi Captain Marvel. He's sending me the Robin. I'll be doing another Robin kit and selling it. So again, that was Sunday. And then Sunday, not only that, the big deal was the award ceremony. So here we get to the award ceremony, which to me, it's an emotional experience for me, to be honest. It's very humbling to be given awards for something that you just do for fun, that you do. That's like to me, it's therapy. I enjoy building for other people. Like I've always mentioned before, I don't have the need to have a collection of things that I've built. So as long as I have the experience of building and painting something, and then I get to share that work and talk about it, that's where I get my enjoyment. I don't need to have that piece in my collection. I wouldn't even say I have a collection. I have more of a collection of unpainted things than I do painted things. I've got a bunch of my Gundams and 1/6 scale stuff I've done, but if someone wanted to buy those, I'd sell them. You know, there may be 1 or 2 that I wouldn't. Probably the Filmies Girls kits I would keep, just because those have a special place in my heart, being like some of my first figure kits, and I'm really proud of them. So the award ceremony was awesome. I did very well this year. Better than I had expected, to be honest. So let me go over the awards that I won. Let me get a sip of water real quick, because first of all, this lamp's about to hit me in the head, and my throat's getting dried out. So let me get a drink. Okay, 4 awards. We're gonna start with the Spider-Man tournament I did, the little Spider-Man tournament. He got a silver, which I was very happy about. That was really cool. So that's this guy. They changed their awards a little bit this year. This is the silver award this year. Last year the silver was actually, I think they changed their awards in general. I have to look at my previous trophies. I think they've changed them a little bit. So this is what the silver award looked like this year. So the Spider-Man tournament got a silver, and the Eric Sosa Spidey got a silver. And I think the only reason Eric Sosa Spidey didn't get a gold, 2 things. The spider web was pretty flat, and I think I had put on the one head that had the smaller Spidey eyes. That's my favorite head, and I put out this other heads just to show, and probably the skin tones on the unmasked portrait brought it down to a silver. And those are totally legitimate critiques on that piece, and I'm proud of the skin tones on that one. But again, that's one area I'm working on. So I'm proud to get. I was surprised that the tournament got a silver. That's pretty cool. So there was only 2 silvers. I didn't get any bronzes this year. I got silvers, golds, and best ofs. So those are the only 2 silvers I got. Now for golds, which is this guy right here, I'll go down the line. I brought one Nairn Hellboy. He got a gold. The one I brought was the one I did for Demetrios. He, in my opinion, is the best one I've done so far. To me, it hits every point of what a Hellboy should look like, and I'm extremely proud of that build. And he got a gold. I brought the Alpha 3 Captain America. He got a gold. I brought the Robin. He got a gold. I brought the Deuce, Sheridan Deuce Thor. He got a gold. The only statue that did not get a trophy was the Mad X Hulk. It got a certificate of merit, meaning that the judges saw it, they looked at it, and they thought it's a good piece, but not good enough for a trophy. And in my opinion, the things that brought that down, and this is kind of I kind of agree and kind of don't agree with the merit. When you're bringing a piece that you've done for a client and not your own vision, you can't really get upset on how the judges judge it, because you're presenting a piece that you didn't do for yourself. You presented a piece you did for someone else in their vision. So in my opinion, what kept it from getting a trophy was the yellow nails. I like the yellow nails personally. I think it's cool. The paint, I did go ahead and tear the pants, but they weren't like dirty, and probably the teeth were a little too clean. In my opinion, the skin tones are freaking amazing. I love the skin tones. I think they look better than any of those comic neon green Hulk skin tones out there. Personally, I think that didn't bring it down. So I think those three things brought it down to a merit. And I told Sonu that, it's like, oh man, I'm really subconscious about it. I was like, hey, look, it getting a trophy or not getting a trophy should not determine whether you like your piece or not. I'm very proud of that piece. I'm like I said, I would love to have it. If I wanted a collection of statues, I'd love to have it in my collection. I'm proud of the job I did. I think Sony's happy with it. That's all that matters. Whether it won a trophy or not, it's no big deal. You know, a trophy is just kind of a, you know, it's like a little frosting on the cake. And again, I bring stuff there to show and talk about, not necessarily to win awards. So for the figures, they got 4 golds, 1 silver, and then a silver for the tournament. Now, the hit piece of the show and of what I presented was the 172nd Yagdogga. It freaking kicked ass. I had more compliments on that build than anything I've ever done. People just kind of know me as the guy that brings robots. And since Matt gave me full reign on it, and I plan on it being my last commission rope, you know, Gundam, unless someone just has really, really deep pockets, talking like $5,000 deep pockets. It was my last commission. So I just wanted to go balls out, bright, shiny, you know, I wanted to stick out. And man, you could see that sucker across the floor. It looked freaking phenomenal. So many compliments. So it also won a gold, which is again, this guy. It won Best Mech, which was given from Tag Team, Thomas Grossman. I love the award this year. Every year they give a little different award, and I love this one. I think that's perfect. So I'll go up on the shelf. It also won Best Anime right here. And the first year I went to Wonderfest, I won Best Anime. Even though it's not in the anime category, since it is from an anime, the guys that give this award do look at all the categories. So I won Best Anime. And probably the award I'm most proud of is a new award this year. This is called the Miguel Hernandez Mora Amigo Award. Now this is in honor of a gentleman by the name of Miguel Hernandez. I didn't know him. I've never met him. So when I got the award, I was like, oh, cool. I don't know what it is, but I'm honored to have it. So after I got it, I went up to Lisa Davis. She was one of the presenters. Like, so tell me about this award. And she was telling me that about Miguel Hernandez, that he was a avid modeler, longtime attendant of Wonderfest, and just kind of an all-around guy that you'd like to hang around with. So, and he passed away last year suddenly from a heart attack at a very young age. He was in his 40s, like 49. All right, sorry about that. My battery ran out like I thought it was. It might. So anyway, I was talking about the Miguel Hernandez Award that I received for the Yagdogga. Hold on, I'm tangled up here. And I was just saying how I'd never met him or knew of him, but he sounded like he was a very well-liked and loved person. So it was a really great honor to receive this for the Yagdogga. So thank you to Lisa, and I believe Marco is the gentleman that actually picked my entry for this award. So overall, my grand total for awards at the 4 Wonderfests I've been to so far is I have 13 golds, 8 silvers, 13 bronze, 4 best mech, 2 best anime, and 1 sponsor award. So not too bad for 4 Wonderfests. I know some people who've been going for years and haven't even received a single gold. So that says a lot. I think my work speaks for itself, as I say all the time. So anyway, it's pretty cool. So I think that's pretty much. Oh, I was going to also say, I thought I think I got best of show also. The gentleman who won it, Arcangelo, sorry, had an amazing Naren Queen versus Predator build up. It's the one where the Queen's on the ground and the Predator's on top of the head, kind of beating her up, and he did an amazing job. The work on his Predator was flawless. So I go up to congratulate him for winning, And the guys from AFM pulled me aside and said, hey, we really wanted to give you best of show again, but since you won last year, we just felt we should have give it to someone else. And I'm like, I didn't win best of show last year. And they're like, yeah, you did. I'm like, no, I didn't. They're like, yeah, you had that black Mac. I go, that wasn't mine. That was David Nonis. So they got me confused with David Nonis. And so I think I was supposed to get best of show. But anyway, Archangelo did an amazing job on his piece. So if that's who I lost to, I'm more than happy to do so. Besides, the Ag Dog did pretty awesome anyway. And all the compliments I received from everyone far outweighs getting a trophy for it. So it would have been cool, but you know, whatever, no big deal. So I think that's it for my Wonderfest wrap up, you know. And then after the awards, I packed up. It took me about 2 hours to pack all my stuff. I was the second to last person to leave the contest. Took me 2 hours to pack. I got stuck talking to people and didn't get on the road till 8:30. And I just got in my car and started driving. I drove until I got tired. And about 2 in the morning, my car started making some interesting noises, and my check engine light started to flash. I'm like, oh, that can't be good. So I'm driving. I'm trying to Google what flashing check engine light means. And right away it says, if your check engine light is flashing, stop driving immediately and find a mechanic. I'm like, fuck. It's 2 in the morning. There's no one around. Basically, it says the car is misfiring somehow. And that it's dangerous because there's excess gas and oxygen being put into the engine that's not being used. So it gets dumped in your exhaust system where it could catch on fire. I'm like, yay, 2 in the morning in the middle of Tennessee or wherever the hell I was, and my car could catch on fire. And the only thing I'm thinking is that I have a car full of customer statues in the back that's probably worth about 20 grand. I'm like, shit, if my car catches on fire, what am I going to tell all my clients? Sorry, all your statues melted in a car fire. So I was like, fuck. So basically I slowed down, the check engine stopped blinking, went to red, and then eventually just would blink if I tried to like push the car too much. So I get home, like, just get me home. And you know, I'm getting to text Arcana, like, maybe I should pull over and see a mechanic. But I wanted to get home and told my wife what was going on. And I had recently just dropped like 5 grand in this damn car. I had the transmission rebuild, new spark plugs, new wires, a new computer, new engine mounts, new catalytic converter, just countless things. I'm not putting any more. Okay, one more time. My phone keeps stopping recording. I'm not sure why, but it does. So I'm going to try to wrap this up so it doesn't happen again. Let's see if I get this in frame. There we go. So anyway, my car basically broke down. Luckily, I was able to find a good deal on one yesterday, and I bought a new car. So there's that. So yeah, I got home. So today's Tuesday. I actually had the day off from work today, so I could get unpacked, kind of recuperate. And I'll have a couple more videos of reviews of stuff I got. Like I said, I have a few things that are coming in that I had to not pre-order, but pay for and then have them shipped. One Troy McDivitt piece, and then the Mark Havocan piece that he had. The name is slipping my mind. But as always, thanks to everyone who came up to me and talked to me and introduced themselves. And again, if I didn't recognize you, I apologize, because everyone I know is from Facebook and it's hard to tell who they are from a little picture. And I'm the same way. I go up to people, they don't know who I am. And so anyway, great time. Looking forward to next year, and thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.